Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Belt and Road Office talk on Silk Road Economic Belt, Hong Kong Cooperation and Multinational Supply Chain Management. My name is Anna, and I will be your MC today. Today's event features two panel discussions. The first panel will focus on opportunities along the Silk Road Economic Belt, while the second panel will address multinational supply chain management for Belt and Road regions. Following these discussions, we will have a networking session. To kick off our event, I would like to invite Mr. Nicholas Ho, Commissioner for Belt and Road of the HKSAR Government, to give his opening remarks. Please welcome Mr. Ho to the stage.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year. Welcome to the first Bro Talk in 2025. It is a privilege to gather here today to engage in exchanges on the opportunities of the Silk Road Economic Belt, focusing on Hong Kong's cooperation and multinational supply chain. The Silk Road Economic Belt is a vital pathway for economic integration and collaboration. It is a long-term vision for the infrastructural development, connectivity, and economic cooperation of Eurasia. It is considered the longest economic corridor in the world and potentially the most dynamic one, connecting the Asia-Pacific region in the east with European economies in the west. Premising on Hong Kong's strong ties with Southeast Asia, the evolving dynamics of the Silk Road Economic Belt present abundant opportunities for cooperation, allowing Hong Kong to strengthen its connection with Central Asia, South Asia, Middle East, and beyond. As we explore the opportunities along the Silk Road Economic Belt, we must recognize the transformative changes since the Belt and Road Initiative began. The China-Europe Express Rail, with connection to Hong Kong through the new International Land-Sea Trade Corridor, now connects 36 Eurasian countries. The infrastructure bridges Hong Kong with western provinces of mainland of China, with ASEAN, Central and Eastern Europe, and Central Asia, enhancing trade and logistics, which Hong Kong logistics and supply chain companies played an important role. The development of the Silk Road Economic Belt is significant. It turns previously landlocked countries into land bridges, providing more development opportunities for different countries. The availability of more modes of transport also strengthens supply chain resilience and efficiency. Goods from GBA to Europe can save 60% or more time compared with sea routes, and transport by rail also offers certainty. Just to share an interview I recently watched that a Kyrgyzstan buyer based in Yiwu in Zhejiang province last year, his company had 40% of goods using the China-Europe Rail Express for exports. The new logistics corridors also leads to thriving infrastructure development, as well as financial and cultural exchanges. For example, Aktau in Kazakhstan, located at the Caspian Sea, and Izmir in Turkey, located at the Aegean Sea, our logistics hub and relevant infrastructure are being upgraded, leading to a huge demand in architecture, engineering, financing, and other services. And so are many other cities in the northern, middle, and southern route of the railway. The increased connectivity also spurred cultural exchanges. Yiwu have seen increased number of traders from Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and Eastern Europe. And for Hong Kong, on top of more than 5,300 Belt and Road students studying in Hong Kong, there are some 550 exchange students from Belt and Road countries in Hong Kong. Most of the top 10 sources are countries along the Silk Road Economic Belt. With strengthened bonding and cooperation, we can achieve shared development opportunities. Building on the advancement of infrastructure connectivity, regions like Xinjiang seeks closer ties with Central Asia, while Guangxi and Yunnan serves as trade gateways to Southeast Asia, and Ningxia aims to strengthen connection with Muslim countries. Hong Kong plays a significant role in high-quality development for China and the Belt and Road regions. Through concerted efforts, approximately 1,200 companies from Belt and Road countries set up offices in Hong Kong to leverage its advantages. From 2013 to 2022, Hong Kong's position of outward direct investment to Belt and Road economies tripled to nearly $120 billion. From 2013 to 2023, Hong Kong's merchandise trade with Belt and Road countries surged by 60% to $250 billion. With the enhanced trade links with the Silk Road Economic Belt, there is a notable trade increase in the first route of the Silk Road Economic Belt, which runs from northwest and northeast of mainland of China through Central Asia to Europe. Central Asia, together with MENA, and Southeast Asia and South Asia are the Belt and Road Office's target new growth areas. As of 2023, 9 economies of the Central Asia-Europe corridor of the Silk Road Economic Belt became Hong Kong's top 50 export destinations, with exports value up 52% to $11 billion from 2013 levels, driving overall trade growth between Hong Kong and Belt and Road countries, based on HKTDC data. In comparison, Hong Kong exports to ASEAN grew some 40% over the same period. The HKSAR government is committed to strengthening Hong Kong's role as a super connector and a super value adder. To help companies explore opportunities along the Silk Road Economic Belt, our office co-led a Hong Kong and mainland business delegation with the Ministry of Commerce of the central government to visit Hungary, Kazakhstan last year in May, and returned via Xinjiang. Last month, Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development, Mr. Algernon Yao, led a delegation to visit Xinjiang and met with senior leaders of Kazakhstan and the Xinjiang region to further discuss collaboration. Hong Kong, as a global financial center and a leader in green finance, can help fundraise for high-quality projects. This year, we will continue to lead outbound missions, facilitate project matchings, drive capacity building, and more. The Belt and Road Cross-Professional Forum, as announced in the Chief Executive's 2024 policy address, will be held next month, bringing together enterprises from Belt and Road countries and the mainland to use Hong Kong as the hub for Belt and Road and utilize our professional services to explore opportunities in innovation, green development, finance, legal, transport, and construction. In closing, I hope today's event will drive meaningful discussions on how we can further develop opportunities presented by the Silk Road Economic Belt. Together, we can contribute to shared prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ho, for your inspiring words. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Alva Lau, Director General of Investment Promotion of Invest Hong Kong, to share her insights. Please welcome Ms. Lau to the stage.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you, and it is my great pleasure and honor to be here today on this very important occasion. Over the past decade, our country has firmly committed to the Belt and Road Initiative, and Hong Kong has played a pivotal role in the facilitation of projects, especially through the provision of financial resources, professional expertise, and a unique strategic location that connects all of us. Our collective efforts have led to the rapid expansion of Belt and Road international cooperation, yielding fruitful outcomes. The initiative has extended its reach through Central Asia to Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Latin America, with over 150 countries and more than 30 international organizations signing cooperation agreements. Belt and Road cooperation has evolved from initial concepts into concrete projects, transforming blueprints into reality. Numerous signature projects and people-centered programs have been launched, reflecting our commitment to high-quality cooperation that delivers tangible economic and social benefits. Our focus has evolved and grown from physical connectivity to institutional connectivity, guided by principles of joint planning, joint building, and joint benefiting our peoples, alongside a philosophy of open, green, and clean cooperation. Since inception of the Belt and Road Initiative, the BRI, we have developed a global connectivity network, including economic corridors, international transportation routes, and digital highways. This revitalization of the Silk Road spirit enhances the flow of goods, capital, technology, and human resources among participating nations. Hong Kong, with our world-class infrastructure and dynamic financial sector, has emerged as a crossroad for trade, ideas, and culture. Modern symbols of international trade, such as high-speed trains, cargo ships, and e-commerce platforms have emerged, replacing the camel caravans and sailing sails of the past. New airports, harbors, roads, and industrial parks have created economic corridors and growth drivers, becoming vital trade routes in the modern era. Our collective achievements as an extended community over the BRI countries over the past decade highlight that humanity is a community with a shared future. Only when the world thrives can China also thrive, and vice versa. Through Belt and Road cooperation, we are opening our doors wider to the world, integrating our market more closely with the whole global economy. Hong Kong, of course, we are inherently pro-business. We will continue to be the vibrant meeting place for innovative solutions. As highlighted in this year's policy address, the Hong Kong government is committed to developing the city as a multinational supply chain management center, providing one-stop support and abundant opportunities for enterprises to succeed on the global stage. With our strategic location, seamless connectivity to global markets, and access to a highly skilled workforce, companies from Belt and Road regions can leverage Hong Kong's exceptional professional services, supply chain management, trade financing, and consultancy, to name but a few, to expand operations into mainland China and new markets across Asia. Likewise, Hong Kong continues to act as a springboard and regional headquarters for mainland Chinese entities to invest and build in Belt and Road countries. In 2023, we saw a 25% increase in companies from Belt and Road economies establishing new businesses in the city, facilitated by Invest Hong Kong. There are many more who just opened here without our help very easily. In 2024, Invest Hong Kong assisted over 60 companies from these economies to open their businesses in Hong Kong, which brought in a direct investment of over $1 billion and creating over 850 jobs. Singapore, South Korea, Malaysia, and the UAE were the top 4 source countries. The top 2 sectors were financial services and fintech, and innovation and technology, underscoring Hong Kong's appeal as a hub for innovation. We are hoping to help more countries from all of you here today to set up here and succeed. So last year, we organized, some of them in collaboration with the Commissioner of BRI's office. We organized over 250 promotional events, over half of them in the Belt and Road regions. To enhance our promotion in these areas, we also opened an office in Cairo last year, as well as in Izmir, Turkey. So in 2025, we will further intensify our efforts in the BNR regions, especially in ASEAN and Eastern Europe, supporting industries where Hong Kong excels, such as financial services and high-value added services. For companies interested in tapping into the Hong Kong market and going global, Invest Hong Kong will always remain your strategic partner and assist you in discovering opportunities all along the Belt and Road region and beyond. In conclusion, with Hong Kong's unparalleled connectivity, rich cultural tapestry, and business-friendly environment, let's usher in a new era of collaboration with the Belt and Road Initiative. As a super connector and super value adder, Hong Kong, with our unique location, our competitive and extensive transportation and logistics services and network, is uniquely positioned to facilitate partnerships, enhance the flow of trade and investments across the region. Together, we can effectively navigate the complexities of global supply chain management while deepening our ties and fostering mutual growth, paving the way to a brighter future altogether. Thank you, all of you.
Now, let's move on to our first panel discussion, Opportunities along the Silk Road Economic Belt. I'm pleased to introduce our moderator, Mr. Ho. Please come to the stage. And Mr. Nicholas Ho, Commissioner for Belt and Road. May I also invite Mr. Almas Seyter-Kunov, Consul General of the Republic of Kazakhstan in Hong Kong and Macau SAR's PRC. Mr. Kilim Sajar Efjun, Consul General of the Republic of Turkey in Hong Kong, Mr. Barry Chang, Managing Director of CICC, and Ms. Mei Mei Song, Chief Transformation Officer of Plaza Premium Group. Please welcome our moderator and panelists to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining today's event. I'm very honored to have such a distinguished panel here today from the Silk Road success case from the Silk Road Economic Belt. Now I'll dive right in. Can I invite CG Karim? Maybe you can share with us how the Belt and Road Initiative and the Silk Road Economic Belt fit and tied in with the Middle Corridor, and how that can bring about new business opportunities for Turkey's companies using Hong Kong as a base for GBA, and Hong Kong companies going to explore opportunities along the Middle Corridor using Turkey or Istanbul as a hub.
Hello everyone, good morning, Happy New Year for everybody. It is, I got really shocked because 2 days ago, our president of the Invest Turkey, he made some presentation in the AFF, and a few people were there. So I believe the other speakers are so important. So we have such a high-level audience here. Thank you very much for your coming. Honestly speaking, it's my honor and pleasure to give my insights and my remarks about the Belt and Road Initiative, about the Middle Corridor. Honestly speaking, the dissolution of the Soviet Union, my government, Turkey, came up with the idea of Middle Corridor. It was a connectivity project, very similar to Belt and Road Initiative. But of course, it was a good, it is not enough for people to have a very good idea. At least you should find some finance for that. At that time, it was a little bit hard to finance that connectivity project. But I'm always jealous of our Kazakh brothers because His Excellency Xi Jinping declared the Belt and Road Initiative 11 years ago in Kazakhstan. So I'm always jealous about that. And it was a turning point for our Middle Corridor as well. We got really happy because almost maybe more than 2 decades, our vision is being revisited with a more integrated model, with a more global model. So then, thanks to G20 presidency of Turkey, the year 2015, in Antalya summit, His Excellency Recep Tayyip Erdogan and His Excellency Xi Jinping, they signed the agreement of alignment of BRI and the Belt and Road Initiative. Middle Corridor, sorry. The Middle Corridor was a project basically to combining Europe and China, crossing from the Central Asia, basically. And now it seems that thanks to BRI, maybe our Kazakh colleague can explain more, it's already integrated, connected more. And I believe nowadays there is a project between the Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan and to China. And also we already had our goods train from Istanbul to Yivu and Istanbul to Xi'an, I believe. Although it's not cheap to transport by those trains, but I believe within couple of years, there will be a price balancing and it will be more feasible way to send some goods from China to Europe, Europe to China, especially you see in the Suez Canal is somehow could be very problematic, and those times we need some extra routes. Also in the pandemic time, it was very important for us to send goods and to provide and protect supply chains. Now, just small things about, the BRI project is a connectivity project, and Hong Kong is a super connector, and it is very important for BRI. and Turkey and basically Istanbul is a super connector. So we should, I believe, May can say lots of things about that because they are operating in Istanbul in the airport. So we should increase in every aspects to connectivity between Hong Kong and Istanbul and Turkey in order to support or making BRI more globally connected.
Fantastic. Thank you, CG. I want to switch gear here, and I want to ask Mei the second question. You and your group is a Belt and Road success story, your family coming from Malaysia and setting up, founding a business here in Hong Kong. Today, your business has more than 300 locations worldwide. It's about connecting people. It's about service, provision, so on. Can you share with us, riding on what the CG have mentioned just now, what do you see the opportunities are? And because you have all the travelers' data and all the travel pattern, what sort of future trends are you seeing or predicting? And how is your group mobilizing to capture these opportunities?
Okay, thank you. Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you for having me. We are Plaza Premium Group. So as a Plaza Premium Group, we're the world's biggest airport hospitality service provider. We are founded in Hong Kong, and our headquarters is in Hong Kong. I think most of the people here know probably us as airport lounges. I think a lot of people here are probably users of our airport lounge, Plaza Premium Lounge. But in fact, we also run airport lounge, airport hotels, airport passenger services such as buggy services, meet and greet services, wheelchair services even, and also airport food and beverage. Actually, our business is very much tied to the Belt and Road and also the growth, because I'm not sure, when we started we started actually here in Hong Kong. Why did we have the opportunity? Because in 1998 we built the new airport, moving from Kai Tak to Chek Lap Kok. And then our second place we opened in was actually, I think if some of you have been to Malaysia, there used to be an airport in Sabang, and they moved to Sepang because the capacity, if they want to grow, if the infrastructure needs to grow, there needs space. You need capacity. So therefore, all these locations growth. And actually, our growth path as PPG was very much aligned with the growth of a lot of the infrastructure in the Belt and Road. So an example of this is Changi, when they opened Terminal 4, a new terminal, we opened with them. We also opened with Guangzhou Baiyuan Airport. We also opened in Chongqing. More recently, as we see the Middle East invest in tourism, travel, we last year opened with in Abu Dhabi, in the Ziyad International Airport, I think some of you have been to. And we've also recently, in December, also opened in Riyadh, in Terminal 2. So we've been in Saudi Arabia as they've grown, open to the world slowly. We've grown with them. So as you can see, our business is very, very much tied to the growth and the infrastructure development of the Belt and Road countries. But one thing to highlight is infrastructure is expensive. So airports contribute significantly to the economy. I think in Hong Kong, for example, the airport also supports the pillars, right? Tourism, trade, finance, logistics. But they're massive investments. So just to give you an example, in Hong Kong, we recently, I believe last quarter, opened the third runway. I believe it's an 8-year project, and the investment is $141.2 billion. It's a massive, massive investment. So what does this mean? This means airports, in addition to their role of supporting the economy, they also need a return of investment. I mean, it's a big amount of money to use. So traditionally, airports, they earn their money from landing fees, terminal fees, but the significance of non-aeronautical revenue is very, very important. Why? Well, like any business, they need to diversify their income. Second, They need to enhance the customer experience, right? You need F&B, you need lounges, you need good hospitality services. That's why you choose to go to one airport over the other, right? You need better routes, so airlines want to fly to you. So this is a very critical shift and focus that we can see in non-aeronautical revenue. On a consumer level, I can see that post-COVID, 2023 was the year for revenge travel. I think all of us here probably, once the things were lifted, we said, let's travel. I really miss traveling. Then 2024 was the year of normalization, right? Normalization, I think globally, we've hit close to 98% of pre-pandemics globally. But 2025 is the year of growth. 2025 is where we can see the next moves. We can see airlines increasing their purchase of planes. We can see more routes confirming. We can see a lot of infrastructure building and developing and launching. Hong Kong International Airport's a good example, Singapore International Airport, Saudi Arabia. And we can see this in a lot of our locations where airports are starting to hit their capacity and they have to plan ahead. So we really enjoy working together with different countries to look at their greenfield airports, look at how to plan and how to introduce airport hospitality services. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. No, it's great to learn that the future markets that you are identifying, it's along the Silk Road Economic Belt, especially in Saudi Arabia, Middle East, especially in West Asia and Central Asia region as well, and using Hong Kong as the command center, headquarter, as you mentioned. Can I ask Your Excellency CG Almas, of course, as CG Karim has mentioned, the Belt and Road Initiative, One Belt, was announced in Kazakhstan. And since then, the collaboration among our regions have been growing at extremely fast pace. And recently, we also went on a mission together in Urumqi in Xinjiang, where the Hong Kong government and also the Xinjiang region government and also Kazakh government had a very good three-party discussions on driving this Silk Road Economic Belt collaboration model forward among the three of us, and Hong Kong being an international platform. How do you see the future of this growth, and how do you think Hong Kong companies can capture these opportunities and adding value to the Kazakh economy?
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here today. I express my gratitude for Commissioner Nicholas, for Belt and Road team, for organizing this wonderful event and having me today here. As we mentioned today, His Excellency Xi Jinping announced Belt and Road Initiative in 2013 in Kazakhstan, in our capital, Astana. We fully support this wonderful initiative. Kazakhstan is ready to develop together with China and to cooperate in economic areas, in political areas, in cultural and human exchanges. Hong Kong is a very important region for Kazakhstan. We are very interested in developing trade and investment areas. Kazakhstan welcomes Hong Kong businesses. We are ready to develop in IT, green energy, in agricultural areas, in launching joint projects. For example, in our days from 2013, in Kazakhstan, already realized more than 1,000 joint projects with mainland China for $20 billion US. Imagine, in these 11 years, we have good results. And also, I have that idea, given Hong Kong's expertise in innovation and its cutting-edge developments, there is strong potential for collaboration in high-tech industries and implementation of new technologies. Moreover, Kazakhstan could supply light and food industry products to the Hong Kong market. For example, we have successfully exported an expanded range of agricultural and food products to China, which are popular among Chinese citizens. And as I mentioned, we have more options for cooperation. For example, nowadays in Hong Kong, we have more than 500 Kazakhstani people who is studying, working, and enjoy their lives. Some of them also like ambassadors of Kazakhstan, and they represent our country. Some of them working in some big enterprises, and they established some bridges. So as I mentioned, we have many, many options. We are ready to develop together with China and Hong Kong to explore new opportunities. So in future time, I think we'll have more meetings. For example, it was a first high-level meeting in Xinjiang. Our Vice Prime Minister, Mr. Zhumangaren, brings a big delegates. It was a triple format meeting where Hong Kong, Xinjiang, Kazakhstan meets. And we discussed a lot of issues. Hopefully in near future we'll have some good results. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, CG. No, absolutely. I've been to Kazakhstan a few times. I can see, especially recently, the economic maturity is there, and more international businesses are getting in and using Kazakhstan as a platform for Central Asia market. Of course, we always looked at Hong Kong companies entering into Kazakh market, and of course Kazakhstan companies coming in. We're very glad to see that since our delegation visit last year, there is a Hong Kong fintech company now in the final stages of getting a stablecoin license, using digital payment and fintech from Hong Kong, expanding into Kazakhstan and Central Asia. And I do believe, as you mentioned, apart from traditional agriculture, energy, and mining business, Kazakhstan also can offer green investment, green development, and also financial technology as a new growth areas for Hong Kong companies as well. Now, Barry, I want to ask you a very important question. You are one of the early pioneers into Central Asia markets. You've been traveling to Central Asia for a very long time, whether it is Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan or Azerbaijan and Turkmenistan, more and more. Now, over the past years, what have you observed in terms of economic and sort of changes and the opportunities that it's presented in these regions for global investors and for Hong Kong companies? What kind of trend are you seeing, and the change happened in the past few years?
Thank you, Nicholas, and thank you again, sir, for having me to be here to share some of the experiences that I may have. Sounds like I'm an expert. In fact, I'm not. I do travel quite a lot to the Central Asia, especially Kazakhstan. I showed Gigi announced that my passport. He was also quite amazed as I have so many stamps coming from the Kazakhstan borders. Maybe I can share something is that there has been a lot of changes in the last maybe a few years, if not 10 years. The first time I was in Astana or in Kazakhstan, if you are the first time to go to Kazakhstan in this period of time, you probably will still have the same memory that I do, is freezing cold. I get off the airplane, is -20, and then later people told me the -20 is warm. But in fact, there's only a very small part of Kazakhstan. There's also a very nice place, Almaty. Then I have some later on I traveled in Almaty, which is a very, very scenic area. They have mountains, they have the snow, they have vibrant city. And I just want to make one point that Shiji, Karim, you shouldn't jealous about that. Well, I noticed that Turkey is the invisible or the true winner of this Belt and Road initiative, even though it is announced in Kazakhstan, because you own the new terminal in Almaty. I'm sure that the Almaty airport will also be giving some new opportunities to Meme, your company. So long story short is that what makes CICC go to Central Asia, or especially Kazakhstan, is we see the experiences that in China will be applicable. And more importantly, is the opportunities. I mean, CICC is the first investment bank in China that we were originally a joint venture between Morgan Stanley and China Construction Bank. Throughout all this year, we have held listing IPO of a lot of Chinese company, from China Mobile to China Telecom, and later on some oil and gas company, PetroChina, Sinopec, and then also some mineral company, Chalco, Jiangxi Copper, and also then the financial company, all these are ICBC, ABC. So we have benefited from the growth of the Chinese economy from what we call different sectors, from telecom to oil and gas to natural resources to mineral and to financial, and later on to some what we call new economy, like Alibaba, which is also one of our very important clients. And more recently, all this new energy, EV, you name it, BYD, NIO, Nissan. I mean, one experience that I have very interesting is that I saw almost all, if not most, if not all, these Chinese brand EV in Tashkent, some of which I haven't seen here in Hong Kong or even in Beijing. So that is the changes that we saw in China. And we have benefited for all this growth. Take one example, CICC ourselves. When we were formed in 1995, we have a paid-up capital of $100 million. And Morgan Stanley, which was the original shareholders, their investment was about $35 million. Now, they have sold all shares, not because we are not doing well, we're doing too well, that they have to monetize their investment. By the time they exit, 17 years after they first invested in the company, 35 million become close to $900 million, which is almost 30 times return. So this is a story that we think that is happening in Central Asia, especially in Kazakhstan being the largest economy in Central Asia. And give us two more examples. We did the listing for Kazatomprom in London Stock Exchange. Kazatomprom is one of the two largest, if not the largest, uranium company in the world. And we were there, joined Bob Warner a few years ago. They were listed at a price of about $11 US dollars. Now I think they were 3 times more than they were listed. And another even more encouraging story. I saw a company called Freedom Holding, which is a Central Asia financial brokerage, and also they have been diversified into others, e-commerce and fintech. And even more amazing, their stock price rose 10 times in the last 5 years. So this is always a good example and opportunity that we see is happening. And CICC, we do have the experiences that to help company in this growth chain to go further, to use the capital market, especially in China, in Hong Kong. And one more chance, the last point I want to make is that with the Chinese yuan interest rate going in an opposite direction to the US dollars, so it's even more interesting or even more beneficial for company to consider raising their bond, their debt in RMB. So you will save a lot of money by raising RMB bond versus US dollars. Thank you.
No, thank you, Barry. No, you're absolutely right. I think you outlined, some of the value and also sort of value creation that Hong Kong can offer, especially through Chapter 18 you mentioned in the Hong Kong stock listing, where a mining company can get on listing in Hong Kong. And you also, as I recall, signed an MOU with a gold mine last year during our delegation visit. And of course, bond market in Hong Kong, family office, IPO, these are just some of the offerings that Hong Kong can be the super value adder for Kazakh projects. You mentioned a few companies looking into Hong Kong to raise money in order to grow their operation in Kazakhstan, and also use Hong Kong as the gateway into mainland China to enhance their trading networks. So it also fortifies the role that you are playing as the super value adder along the Belt and Road Initiative. Now, unfortunately, our time is up. May I invite maybe each panelist to share just a few words on the prospect and the future of Silk Road Economic Belt, just to end the panel here. Can I invite Your Excellency CG Karim?
Okay. It is very hard for me to say a few words. Maybe it is better to say something about Turkey in terms of BRI. In the geopolitical tension time, many of the Chinese manufacturers are thinking how to reach European Union. Turkey is a member of a custom union of the European Union, so I kindly invite all manufacturers to come to Turkey to overcome the geopolitical tension risks, let's say. And one last thing, it seems that early signals showing that a couple of coming years will be a reconstruction period for acute war zones in the world. So it is time to sit together, think together, and rebuild these devastated geographies together. So there are huge potentials, I believe. So now it is time to think a little bit for the reconstruction period.
Cheers. Thank you, CG. And CG Almas?
I just share some ideas. For example, Kazakhstan and Hong Kong have the potential to become key hubs linking Europe and Asia for import and export activities. For instance, there are already direct air cargo flights between Kazakhstan and Hong Kong. I mean Almaty and Hong Kong, as well as rail connections via mainland China. We can use these logistics channels. The second idea is Kazakhstan, as you know, is rich in mineral, natural, and agricultural resources. In this regard, I say again, we invite Chinese businessmen to invest our country for launching joint factories, productions, and agricultural farms. We have many options to cooperate in economic and trade area. So welcome, Hoang Waling.
Fantastic, thank you. Barry?
I'm happy to say that in the last 2 days, we have this AFF. Many people do ask the question is what would be the barrier for economic cooperation or trade? And I see that most of the barrier don't exist between like China, Hong Kong, or versus those countries in Belt and Road, Turkey, or Central Asia, Kazakhstan. We don't have this tariff issue. We don't have this geopolitical issue. So this is the advantage, or make it easier to cooperate more. If I have to say anything, is that I look forward to the resumption of direct flight between Hong Kong and Kazakhstan, and the more flight between Turkey and Hong Kong. That is physical barrier that make us so-called difficult to meet each other. But I do think that there are a lot of opportunities that meeting, you will see it and you believe it. And on the other hand, I also noticed that there, as CGF said, that a lot of Kazakhstan there in Hong Kong. In fact, quite a number of them are studying in Hong Kong. So I look forward that this young generation, I mean, I'm not that old yet, but those students who study in the universities must be younger than me. They will be bringing even more cooperation between Hong Kong, China, and the Central Asia. Thank you.
Cheers, thank you, Barry. And last but not least, Mei.
Well, I think, as a company, we feel very blessed that, Hong Kong has really helped, enabled us to grow, whether it's Invest Hong Kong or BRO, but really to support us to grow in locations like Turkey. I think people are always concerned. They were like, "Oh, is it easy to establish financial support? Are you able to travel?" But I think the interesting thing about Hong Kong is the geography. The geography is there, the infrastructure is there, the business-friendly environment is there, and I really believe that the next year we'll see a lot of direct flights from Hong Kong come direct to a lot of the Belt and Road locations. And I hope that, through this, that we can all work together and strengthen and build offices, regional offices, location offices in these Belt and Road locations like ourselves. we've had a very good experience, and really we always review as a company, should we put our headquarters in Hong Kong, and every 5 years we come back and say, no, this is the right place. We have the support, geography, the safety, the business environment, and through this, I believe in Hong Kong, I believe in the future of us growing.
Thank you for the positive note to end our panel. Thank you. A round of applause for our distinguished panel. Thank you very much.
The second panel discussion is titled Multinational Supply Chain Management for Belt and Road Regions. I would like to introduce our moderator for this session, Mr. Sunny Chow, Chief Manager of Belt and Road Office. Mr. Chow, please come to the stage. May I also invite Ms. Shuki Zheng, President of Hong Kong E-Commerce Logistics Association. Mr. Andy Choi, Managing Director, Middle East and Africa of Hutchison Ports, and Mr. Bill Lee, Director, Corporate Affairs of Lala Move. Please welcome our moderator and panelists to the stage.
Good morning. So I will start right away. So we have three distinguished panelists today representing the users of logistics and supply chain, logistics infrastructure, as well as a technology-enabled company for supply chain. So perhaps may I ask around for the panelists, can you describe what your associations or what your companies do, and name 3 key attributes of a multinational supply chain management hub? So perhaps I can start with Suki.
Yeah, sure. So good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Happy to be here, and thanks for Belt and Road Office arranging such an amazing event. So, a little bit about Hong Kong E-Commerce Logistics Association, which we call HKSAR. We aim we actually start from a formation from some marketplaces players and e-logistic players like eBay, Amazon, Lazada, and logistics Plim. So this is where we start up, and we aim to be a kind of super connector. We always say that, right? For e-commerce logistics, which we promote Hong Kong as an e-commerce hub, as what the previous speakers also mentioned. As a hub is really important. Like for Hong Kong, definitely one of the attributes is the connectivity, right? So for first attribute, I would name as like connectivities, because Hong Kong got more than 200 countries, connecting the globe, and we are number 1 in 2024 in terms of air cargo, and we just got third one-way rate. So we hope by Hong Kong as a hub, we serve Asia and also connecting the globe. It could be the Belt and Road regions, right? We currently has been got a close collaboration with Cameroon, Nigeria, and Hungary, in fact, to expand the e-commerce business. And we just been from Dubai last month, also talking to some marketplaces if they can use Hong Kong as a hub and fulfill their products. So besides the connectivity I just mentioned, I think the cultural practice and the diversity is the key for us as Hong Kong to stay competitive among the regions, right? So while besides in the old days, we have a Japanese, Korean, like, pop songs or even different languages, right? We try to learn like Russian, like different languages these days from since our universities. So I think the cultural diversity is the second one. And I think the last one, actually quite a lot, but I'll just name it. The other very important elements, I think, would be the flexibilities. So while especially for the e-commerce logistics, right? We are racing like around 10 years ago. And we did have different solutions from first mile, middle mile, last mile, custom clearance, in and out, so as to help to facilitate the trade. So I think I will stop here first, and let's discuss later. Thank you.
Thank you. So connectivity, culture, and flexibility. So what about you, Andy?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad we're here. Thank you, Nicholas, for inviting us. I represent Hutchison Ports. We're a global container port operators, logistic company. We're part of a bigger group, CK Hutchison, which is a true global conglomerate. Our root is in Hong Kong, and we have been around for a very long time. I think the three key attributes for us as a global container terminal operators is, our history, our knowledge, and our people. I think that's the 3 key attributes. I think everywhere we go around the world, I've been with the company for 26 years. I've seen many port development, small scale, large scale, and I think our Hong Kong-based knowledge, because Hong Kong is one of the best port procedures, port policy, custom procedure, custom policy. So everywhere we go, we try to replicate, we try to apply our knowledge, our DNA, our history, and we send all our people all over the world. I myself, I've been based in Pakistan for over a year, and many of our colleagues has been in a lot of very challenging, upcoming places along the Belt and Road countries, and we all send our top professionals to make sure that we have a successful projects, and we contribute and work very closely with the government.
Okay, thank you, Andy. So history, knowledge, and people. So what about you for Lalamove, Bill?
Thank you, Sunny. Good morning and Happy New Year. It's very great to see many familiar faces again in this very well-organized event. And thank you also for Nicholas, Commissioner, for the invitation. Happy to be here. I think, let me introduce a little bit about Lalamove first. Many of you may have known us for long or have used our services. We are a technology platform. We are founded in Hong Kong around 11 years ago in 2013. And we are now actually operating in a number of regions, including Hong Kong. We are also in mainland China under the brand name Hualala. And also in terms of internationalization, we are also in Southeast Asia, South Asia, North Asia, Latin America, in Brazil, and also in Mexico City. And also, as I reported to His Excellency CG Karim, we have just started our operation in Turkey last month. So actually, basically, we are a startup, and we are still working on a really expansion mode. So in terms of BRI, it's definitely one of our, our strength in terms of connectivity, because we are doing logistics. We want to connect people, right? So internationally, we are connecting more than 15 million users with more than 1.4 million driver partners around the world, so that we can serve the global community and solve their logistic pain points. So in terms of what Sunny has asked me, I think actually very core to Lalamove is, of course, the first and most important thing is technology. We want to use technology to increase efficiency, and also by doing so to reduce cost. So that's number one and most important. And number two, I think, is really value. By value, I mean really creating a win-win relationship in all the markets that we are serving. Because more than 80% of our clients, they are actually small and medium enterprises in the respective communities. So they have a lot of pain points. They're facing problems of inflation, rising cost, everything. So we are there to use technology to help them to reduce their logistic cost. So the business side must present a certain value to the global community, and also to grow together with the local economy. So the second main point I want to stress is value and a win-win relationship. And thirdly, I think is, again, what I want to stress the strength of Hong Kong is really a global approach. It's not just global, it's also a local approach. So we coin the term global approach, meaning that we use the global perspective. We use the same set of technology, same set of apps, but then we adjust it, we adapt it to serve the local needs. And in all the markets, we build the local team. We have a team of local employees to help us run the business so that it will best respond to the interests of the local SMEs that I've mentioned, and also the driver partners who are helping us out there in serving all these logistic needs. So I think the global approach is the most important in terms of using Hong Kong's strength and benefiting all the communities that we are serving.
Okay, thank you, Bill. And so our chief executive says Hong Kong is a super value adder, and then now the three panelists have really shared with us, what the value they bring to make Hong Kong a truly super value adder. So we have got this capability, and we're operating in turbulent times. So I would like to go next round of questions to talk about the future. So perhaps I will start with Suki again first. Yeah. So, you know, e-commerce is really reshaping trade. Yeah. So is there any trends, interesting trends that you're observing? And what are the implications for the SMEs in Hong Kong, Belt and Road regions, or in the Greater Bay Area? Can you share with us, please?
Wow, in fact, you know, even we are in a little bit of different, you know, industries or like perspective. However, we've got the same attributes and ideas. One of them I truly agree is about, you know, personalization and work global and work local. This is the first one I think is really very important. Like I can give some example, right? We are working with a lot of big marketplaces, small marketplaces, new startup, right? So well, everyone else is actually they need personalization, no matter you know really one-on-one, tailor-made things, and how you build a you know logistic solutions for your clients or you know partners. So personalization is one very important, and since as I said, the attributes is flexibilities, right? Hong Kong always have the flexibilities. We are all the way like doing business, trying to make our revenue, trying to streamline the cost, you know, like this is Hong Kong spirit. So this is somewhere Hong Kong is taking the lead still, which we travel quite a lot, right? Even I think in last few months, right, some of the US terminals and airports did come to us and fly to Hong Kong and visit us. And you know, with the geopolitical whatever we mentioned, right, we still have to business, right? So they are flying Hong Kong and see, hey, any you know collaboration that we can work with Hong Kong, you know, as an Asia hub to fulfill everywhere. So we still see the value over there. So the first and second one I would like to mention is about like innovation. So innovation is the key, right? Science Park, Cyber Park, you know, even our different bureaus have been promoting that. And we have been working with our members, right? Actually, Lala Move is one of our very important and core members. While we promote digital transformation, Asia and globally and in the Belt and Road regions. So I think innovation will be somewhere we are going to move forward. And with the back and support from our mainland China, and also we are facing the world, we will continue, you know, to establish and evolve from time to time. And the third one I think is very important. We always say ecosystem, right? E-commerce ecosystems. It in fact consists of quite a lot of elements. E-commerce logistics is definitely one of them. E-marketing is one of them. And e-payment and fintech is one of them. And even cloud and communication channels is one. So within the group and our team, we always collaborate and discuss, right? Digital payment, I think, would be one of the very key, right? When we talk about business and trade, right? After all, doing all the business, you know, having all the logistics service, we have to collect money, right? We have to, you know, to manage our finance healthily. So I think the other way around is that we see quite a lot of digital payment and fintech raising from Belt and Road countries, and we look forward, you know, to see more, you know, innovative ways that we collaborate. But all in all, Hong Kong is always the IPO market, and it will continue to be that. So I hope to see more, you know, startups and then having business, having investment here. And in the meanwhile, as I just mentioned earlier, we have a few African countries actually has been approaching us as well to see if any collaboration in terms of infrastructure and even port development. So I think we will see more and more, and we are very confident that Hong Kong will continue to be a very important e-commerce hub upcoming in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Suki. So the implication to SMEs is that you need to personalize, you know, for clients. You need to innovate and then get into the ecosystem, including digital payment, in order to survive and thrive. So, you know, Suki, you have been in the e-commerce, so you're very flexible, as you mentioned. But some things in logistics are not so flexible, including port investment, because it's a very long-term investment. So, Andy, you know, Hutchison is operating some 53 ports in 24 countries and regions, and you've been proven very successful. You have a throughput of 82 million TEUs in 2023. that is more than Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou combined. So Hong Kong services not only are rendered in Hong Kong, but beyond borders. So I would like to get your view about your vision of the future international maritime environment. How will it evolve? Because you will be making substantial investment that you can't really just leave overnight. Andy, can you share with us your insights?
I think globally, the port business is becoming more and more competitive. I think governments on their own, like Singapore, Dubai, now Abu Dhabi, they're all very aggressive in terms of expansion. So port business is becoming a global competition game, sort of. Everyone's expanding quickly. So for us, I think we, as a Hong Kong-based port operator that has a long history, as you said, 53 ports in 24 countries, we look forward to continue to expand, especially along the Belt and Road countries. I think the platform is set. The Chinese government, Hong Kong HKSAR Government have allowed this platform to begin with, and Hutchison Port, with the history, will continue to look at investment overseas in the Belt and Road countries. I think Hong Kong is no doubt is the gateway and a super connector for the region to bridge the east and the west, and especially among the Belt and Road countries. Hutchison Port in the history for us, in the Middle East region, we have invested a huge amount of money in the region over the last quarter of a century, resulting in a strong presence in maritime hubs for advancing technology, logistic services, and global connectivities. I think that's the directions we're going. We continue to look for opportunities. But as I said, competition is very keen. We want to focus on where we're already operating. For example, in Pakistan, we have expanded substantially, and now we're the largest operator in the country. It's a very challenging country to operate in, and I think the government have supported us, and we have made very good results in the past years. And I think in the UAE and the Saudi Arabia, we continue to look for opportunities to expand and complement the whole BRO initiatives.
Well, thank you, Andy. So we get that. The Belt and Road Initiative is, really a mapped out, future plan that offers, opportunities and some certainty amidst this turbulent times, for our future investments. So last but not least, I would like to go to Bill. Lalamove was established in 2013, and within years, you have become a unicorn that operates across Asia, Latin America, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So how did you come to this, and what's your outlook for the future? Like, any interesting cases that you observe from operating in all these Belt and Road regions, and how do you add value to your partners in order to smoothen their supply chain in all these Belt and Road regions?
Thank you, Sonny. I think many people will know Lalamove as one of the success stories in the so-called GBA, Greater Bay Area, right? But less so, people know about Lalamove regarding our international businesses. It is a very interesting story because we started in 2013 in Hong Kong. And actually, the following year, in 2014, we expanded into GBA, Greater Bay Area in mainland China, as well as to Singapore and also Thailand. So it's actually not very common for a Hong Kong startup to be so ambitious. And right from the very beginning, our founding team believed that actually our model, using an app or a website to connect the demand and supply for last mile delivery, should be expanded globally. And that's why I mentioned that we are very lucky. We are actually in a very steady and continuous growth momentum. So apart from in the Southeast Asian region, just last year, Q3 and 4 alone, we expanded to Japan and also Turkey. So if Sunny asked me about really the future, about the outlook, I would say I'm actually very upbeat because I think as a Hong Kong technology empowered platform, we see great potential in globally, and we see actually a growing demand to meet the very, very long value chain of delivery services, both internationally, as some of our esteemed panelists have mentioned, but also locally in terms of last mile delivery. So I think we are very upbeat, but the key is still, I mean, that there needs to be a very unique competitiveness of Hong Kong company. We need to employ technology. I think that's really beyond debate that the use of technology has revolutionized a lot of businesses' decisions and also efficiencies. So technology would be key for the future. And secondly, is really, actually that's very core to Belt and Road Initiative. It's about creating value and also to enhance people-to-people connection. So not just in terms of business, because for Lalamove, it's about business as much as it's about really serving the local community. So we know what's really happening everywhere. We know the pain points of the SMEs in these countries, or even the issues that they face, the typhoons, the monsoon rainfalls, the flooding, everything. So we are there to help them as well. So that's really the value and the people-to-people understanding and bonding that I think the whole Belt and Road Initiative has been promoting, and Lalamove has been part of that ecosystems to really to put it into execution.
Well, thank you so much, Bill. It's very heartening to see your upbeat outlook for the future. So we understand, from our panel discussion that, Hong Kong, before, we invested in transporting goods from one place to another and evolving to, having e-commerce platforms to connect buyers and sellers. And now we even have, logistics solutions that can help even to the last mile delivery. So Hong Kong as a multinational supply chain management hub does offer a full value chain of services, not only in Hong Kong or through Hong Kong, but across the globe and along the Belt and Road as well. So please, I would like to go on, but due to the time limit, we have to stop here. Let us give a round of applause to our panelists who share their insights.
Thank you to our panelists. Please return to your seats. Once again, thank you to our speakers and to the audience for our participation. We hope you found the discussions insightful and beneficial.